Hey guys, Xaryu here, and today I have two awesome breakdowns for you guys versus some Rogue Mage Priest RMPs. One is a Frost RMP, one's an Arcane RMP, but let's hop into these games right away. Once again, I'm playing Arcane Holy Priest Ellie Shaman, which is like the weirdest comp ever, but we're going with it, making it work. And like the main thing I want to note is my spec inside of this game. I'm actually playing Nether Tempest, which is very surprising, instead of Erosion, and then I'm playing Supernova instead of that Resonance talent. Two very odd choices, and I'm going to kind of explain to you guys why I'm going with this spec against this specific matchup. And it is this specific matchup, right? I don't go this spec all of the time. It's not like I go Supernova, Nether Tempest as my main spec anymore. But if you want to see what spec I go, you can check out my Arcane Mage guide. But I'm going this spec against RMP specifically really to dampen and stop setups, right? And that's kind of what I will be explaining during this game. But right away, the fear comes out on the Oz, the kidney shot comes out on the Priest, and the cheap shot comes out on me. This is triple CC onto our team, and I don't expect any less. We're fighting Gareki, Samayam, and Snuts. These guys are absolutely incredible. They're known as Method Black in the tournament scene, and they're just getting these beautiful setups onto us. I either am going to have to Trinket Temp, maybe use my Greater Invis, just block, or it's going to be my Priest cooldown. It's going to be something, right? That's a lot of cooldowns. Right away, I actually sit the opener. I'm going to use my Greater Invis, which is like a wall. I'm going to Spell Steal Icy Veins, and I'm going to Mass Invis and Blink. So far, this is great. Handling this opener. My Priest gets blinded. He trinkets immediately. I pop that Temp Shield to Greater Invis and actually held on to my trinkets. This opener is phenomenal for us. Right away, guys, I get my 4 stacks with Arcane Explosion and put up that 4-stack Nether Tempest and the slow for the additional damage onto the Mage. Strategy here, we're going to continue to run, make distance, make big laps around the map, stay far from my own Priest so that the Rogue has a harder time getting the setups. And then just continuing pressure, but really focusing on stopping polymorphs with Supernova because it knocks him up, and with Counterspell on the polymorph so we can't actually get any follow-up CC out of those kidney shots on my Priest. So there's a polymorph being casted, goes off onto my Shaman. Knock up that next cast there. Another polymorph's being casted. It gets Earthshock stunned by my Shaman. Now the cheap shots are coming onto me. My Priest gives me 1 yard just for that heal, and I should be completely fine, right? So that was stun to yards. They didn't do much with it, so that was fantastic. Once again, continuing the spread pressure, cycling through my Arcane Barrages, Arcane Explosions, Slows, and Nether Tempest. Ebon Bolt does connect, but there's no CC on my Priest, so it doesn't matter at all. The Smoke Bomb comes out. I just blink out of it. Super easy there. The Mage and the Rogue now taking a ton of pressure from my Ellie Shaman. Part of the downside of going me as a kill target, the Arcane Mage, is that my Ellie Shaman can absolutely dominate in this game, unless they control him with something like off cheap shots, off polymorphs, and off mind controls, fear, stuff like that. But you can't do that all of the time, so my Shaman can do almost whatever he wants, but this is scary. Full kidney shot lands onto me, full polymorph onto my Priest. Once again, it's another go from the Rogue Mage Priest. I'm going to have to Trinket Temp Shield, I'm going to have to block, or it's going to be my Priest's defensive cooldowns. Let's see what it's going to be. Looks like it's going to be Trinket and Temp Shield here before that next cheap shot lands, and I'm going to be fine. So my Shaman's feared there, gets dispelled, and my Priest has CC. RMP works in goes, right? That was their go. They're going to get a lot of defensive cooldowns, and now it's our turn. We're on diminishing return for another 15 seconds or so. This is our time to actually, push in, get some cooldowns, get some work done. In the meantime, they have diminishing returns back soon, and then they're going to go for another go. We get a huge pre-setup. That was with Mark of Valuneth Chastise. Priest realizes this and uses Pain Step on himself to save his own Trinket, because he wants to save his own Trinket. Don't mind this. Nice Pain Step there. Priest saves himself, goes back behind the pillar, and now Rogue and Mage are pushing back into the middle of the map, guess what, to do another setup. I get kicked in Arcane. Very scary moment here for the enemy Mage. He is a human, though, so he just trinkets that next stun. Tons of shields coming up from Gareki. Shadowman's connecting on him as well, but we're just completely destroying the Mage. I'd actually be surprised if he got out of here without an ice block. Now the orb connects, and I actually blink out of the orb before I get stunned, and then pre-temp shield here on this go. So I evade the damage and pre-temp shield on this stun. Little miscommunication by Snuts and Samayam there to not stun and then orb. Happens to me all the time. But regardless, we did get that damage evasion off beforehand, so that's going to be awesome. The Ebon Bolt connects with his temp shields, going to top me back to full HP. Now the CC on my priest is ending. The full kidney shot lands and the mind control lands as well, so this might be my ice block. Mind control almost ending on my priest. I'm really doing the best job I can to just kite, spam slow on the mage, the priest, and the rogue. I'm just spamming slow, spamming, just evasion tactics as an arcane mage, and I do manage to hold onto my ice block. So now I still have ice block and I still have greater invis. The enemy team, priest has no trinket, priest has no pain step, mage has 1 or maybe still 2 blocks, but this is kind of the game that we want to play. We want to survive, we want to rout them down, we want to stop these polymorphs just like I did with that counter spell, just like we did with that knock up, just like we did with the wind shears, the ear shocks. We want to be very annoying to this mage, and there's the first block or the second block, I can't quite remember, coming out from I Am Groot, aka Sam I Am. Once again, the full polymorph lands on my priest. The rogue is going to shadow step. Actually, he already pressed shadow step on his screen. Shadow step over to me. I'm going to either want a temp shield, invis, block, like something. It's going to be something, right? I don't have my trinket available. This might be a good time to just ice block, and that's actually what I do. I just throw out the ice block at high HP. A lot of you guys might be like, wow, it's a questionable ice block. You're 73% life. My shaman's feared. My priest is polymorphed. A re-polymorph being casted. It will not be stopped. It's one of two things. It's my priest trinket to save me, but the rogue soul is blind, or it's my ice block. It could have been my trinket, but I don't have trinket available. So why would I ice block at 20% when you could ice block at 80% and save the extra life, right? So we're going to ice block at high HP. We're going to sit in that block. Ebon Bolt being casted, Mass Dispel being casted on my ice block. There's the Icy Veins. I just blink completely away out of dodge and spell steal the Icy Veins, right click it off as well so that he can't spell steal it back. Now I have my trinket available 9 more seconds. I have both invises available. I have that Nether Tempest still taking damage. I have the Supernova. I have the counterspell. Now we're in a pretty decent spot to get some pressure rolling, and that is going to be my trinket invis, right? So my priest trinketed. I think it was the blind. I didn't actually quite catch that. I trinketed and my priest trinketed. So now the next go is going to be scary, but they don't have a go for another, like I said, 18, 20 seconds now. This is when we get a lot of damage out. That's the mage's second ice block with that full hex. Beautiful hex landing from Oz on over to Gorecki. Really, that's like a game-winning hex right there. We have a Frost Nova on the rogue, a hex on the priest. We get the ice block from the mage. The massive spell comes out. We get a little bit more damage, and the mage goes down. So this is a game of survival, guys. We're running. They're doing setups onto us. We're doing the best job we can to actually stop these setups, but it's not easy. Here's the damage breakdown. Of course, the Arcane Mage can do a little bit more damage than the Frost Mage. Ellie Shaman wasn't being trained. He's going to be up at top, and Rogue is somewhere in between. All right, guys, so next game here against another RMP on Dalaran Arena this time. This is actually a different team. This is Jamili, Roasties, and Rubcub. This is the Misfits in the tourney, or what's their name? The Rejects in the tournament. They have quite the funny name, but we are doing a very similar strategy against the Arcane Mage team. We are going with the knockups. We are going with the Nether Tempest. Once again, instead of going for those huge burst setups, we're going for survival, running, spamming those slows, spamming out the Nether Tempest, really controlling the game. Nice hex there from Oz, really just to slow down their opener. We want to slow down the pace of the game. They want to get those huge, huge setups. Arcane sub disc, by the way, is a great composition. I think that most people, it's kind of just flying under their radars. I think it could be a better version of Frost sub disc. I was actually talking to Zico about that, and he was the one who actually kind of mentioned it to me, that Arcane sub is actually insanely OP, but really no one's looking at it. So I think Jamili and Rosie might be practicing it for the next tournament. The trinket comes out from the mage here. He does get restunned up onto it into that war stomp. That's so annoying. LA Shaman's so annoying, and Oz is the king right now of being annoying with it. But that's a ton of burst coming out on the mage. I actually want to talk about kind of what happened there to line up that burst. That's going to be 4 stacks. The Nether Tempest is up and the slow is up, right? So he's taking the extra damage. And it's a 4-stack Nether Tempest ticking as well, and the Flame Shock ticking. Now we have the Presence of Mind, the Arcane Power, and we're going to throw 2 barrages into him. 2 blasts, Arcane Blast into him, and then we're just going to channel the missiles, and then follow it up with that Arcane Barrage, and then follow it up with the Arcane Orb. So that's, and my Shaman, I think, Earth Shocked him there as well. So that's just a ton of burst damage coming onto Jamili there. We did force out the ice block nice and early. Once again, very similar strategy. That was our go. Now they get to their go. They're doing a different strategy here. They're actually going on my Shaman. My Shaman gets kidney shot into that smoke bomb. I blink in, triple Blood Elf Silence to really just negate any damage coming onto him from the priest or the mage. And my Shaman trinkets out of the smoke bomb, and it looks like he's going to be okay. My priest still has every cooldown available in his arsenal. Mage is casting polymorphs. I have counterspell. I have knockup. We're talking about you know, I'll stop next polymorph, or my Oz will be like, I'll stop next polymorph, I'll shear next polymorph, I'll stun next polymorph, and I'll be like, I'll knock up next polymorph, I'll counterspell next polymorph. We're stopping every polymorph, or at least trying to stop every polymorph that the mage is casting. Mr. Preds subbed there on the live stream, so that's going to be in the middle of your screen for a second. Thank you, Mr. Preds. Mage, once again, going for these casts. I knock it up, going for another cast. I counterspell. Jamili actually fakes me there. Now the full polymorph landing onto Oz, and now they want to do a setup onto me. I know it's going to be onto me because the Mark of Alunith's onto me, right? And Oz is sheep. So now they're switching their kill target to me here in this situation. We want to be ready for that. The Hex comes out on the Roasties. I'm stacking on my Priest because the Nether Tempest, the Mark of Alunith, does AoE damage. If my Priest gets either blinded or sheeped, it's going to break it. So I'm stacking up for that Mark of Alunith explosion. Doesn't quite do much there, though. They kind of are just doing like a little half go here. They stun me, stun the Shaman, not really getting much CC at all. And this is really what we want to happen, right? We want to make enough distance to where getting that CC is difficult. Now the full kidney shot on my Shaman and the full polymorph on my Priest. I need to peel here. I go for the sheep. I try to juke the counterspell, but he actually does land the counterspell, and I'm pretty much useless. So here is actually a big mistake. I should have either supernovaed or counterspelled instead of going for the polymorph because the mage still had kick. I shouldn't have gone for that sheep. I should have either just supernovaed the rogue and counterspelled the mage or something like that. And then once I got that counterspell, then go for the sheep on the mage instead of trying to fake out that kick there. So that's a little blunder by my part, but it looks like Oz is going to maybe survive at low HP. I throw out that massive invisibility to help him survive. I sheep up the rogue, have the slows onto the mage and to the rogue. My Priest lands that Ray of Hope and boom, instantly tops back my Shaman to full HP. Once again, guys, I'm playing with a Holy Priest. Holy Priests are not the greatest right now, but Envy just really makes it work. He's an incredible, incredible Holy Priest. Once again, bursting down Jamili. Similar fashion there with the Arcane Power, Presence of Mind. Tons of just Arcane Blast damage. Pain Suppression comes out to keep up Jamili from going down here. He's casting out those polymorphs, just peeling the best he can. The full Hex, though, onto Rubcub. Mind Control into that stun onto Roasties. Roasties and Jamili both in trouble. The thing about this game is Rubcub's at 40% mana. If this game goes any longer and we just continue to spread pressure and continue to survive, Rubcub's just going to straight up go out of mana and then we win by default. Now, if we can also burst before then, really all we have to do is survive, right? If we live, we win at this point. If we live, we win. Now, the full blind comes out and Envy. It actually breaks because he doesn't have Trinket. So incredible job there. I don't know if that was Oz stacking the Mark of Alunith or if it was just some AoE that broke that, but regardless, the full blind broke. That was kind of their opportunity to win the match. Priest at 20% mana. Rogue no trinket, mage no block. We really just need like one more good setup or just to survive for another maybe 1 or 2 minutes and the Priest will be completely out of mana. Nether Tempest, as you can see here, guys, it's doing a lot of work. That's why I'm playing with it. It's kind of rotting the enemy team down. In between goes, it's getting, when they're behind the pillar, it's getting a lot of extra damage out. Throughout the Arcane Barrage there. Not doing as much damage because I don't have Resonance, but throwing out the polymorphs on the rogue. This is the Dark Archangel. This is kind of like their last big go. This is Arcane Power, Dark Archangel, Cloak of Shadows, Priest Trinket. Priest is almost doomed. Like, this is it, right? If we survive, we'll probably win. He's casting those polymorphs. I have that kick available. Going for another sheep. I actually fake the kick and tried to lock the mage there, but sheep the mage instead. So we fake the kick, sheep the mage, re-sheeping the mage, just peeling the situation. I'm not even trying to kill right now. I just want to survive because that was their last go, right? Like, pretty much their last go. Probably their last go. Throwing out the Mark of Alunith, Arcane Power, the Presence of Mind, tons of burst damage, Mage 50% life, Priest out of mana now at this point, right? So we just, at this point, doesn't matter what we do damage on. Mage no block, Rogue no cloak, Priest no mana. Do damage, we win soon, as long as they don't get one more setup. I still have that block, so I can play a little more aggressively. Now that Chain Lightning coming in from Oz, that Stormkeeper Chain Lightning, that's so much damage. Rubcub now, their whole team's going low. I don't think there's any way they could come back unless they get like a 100-0 burst kill, but I have every cooldown available to survive. I use my trinket there probably, so that's not a good trinket. Trinketing Mind Control right there, like not good at all, but they're all pretty low, so I kind of just want to end out the game. Throw out my counterspell, throw up that knockback, throw out tons more damage. Oz is 50% life. They're using Dark Archangel as kind of like a last line of defense. That, offense to great defense type of thing. they couldn't take us out. There it is, guys. Here's the damage breakdown. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you did not enjoy this video, make sure to thumbs it down. We talked about how to beat RMPs here in this video, and RMP is such a popular setup right now. So it might just be a slight spec change, slight change here or there to actually take them down. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.